Balin's dead?
What the fuck?
What is The Ring Goes South? The Ring Goes South is the second of the 6 books of The Lord of the Rings, and a direct sequel to The Ring Sets Out, picking up immediately where that book left off. Frodo and his friends are safely in Rivendell, their task finally complete, but as various leaders and emissaries from all across Middle-earth discuss what is to be done with the One Ring, it soon becomes clear that there is only one possible option: bringing the ring to Mount Doom in Mordor and destroying it. But who will take the ring to Mordor? Frodo knows, though he wishes it weren't so. How does the world of The Ring Goes South work? Okay, once again, I am not going to focus on the main world-building aspects of Middle-earth, since I warrant most people already know those, but rather focus on details that I found particularly noteworthy or surprising. Probably the most unsettling thing I noticed was the elves in Rivendell. They very casually refer to the other races as sheep, throw around terms like the blood of lesser men, and generally act like higher beings. And yet, no one ever really calls them out for this. Indeed, everything in The Ring Goes South suggests that their feelings of superiority are well placed, and it's kind of weird and a little creepy. I remember when I read the Witcher series thinking that Sapkowski's elves were a darker, twisted version of Tolkien's elves, but after reading The Ring Goes South, I think a better description is that they are Tolkien's elves, just from a different perspective. It's like how when I first read The City of Madness by Charles R. Saunders, I initially thought that Johannes was a darker, twisted version of Tarzan's Opar. But then upon actually reading the original Opar story by Edgar Rice Burroughs, I realized it was not so much a grim parody as how Opar would look like to a black person. I mean, seriously, you mean to tell me you all would rather have sex with apes before the local Africans? What's odd though is that while the Rivendell elves are able to be casually racist with no narrative criticism, the Lothlorien elves are presented as being in the wrong for looking down on Gimli and other dwarves. I'm starting to wonder if this is an example of Tolkien's own values clashing with the conventions of the Norse sagas he loved so much. I know Tolkien was an opponent of apartheid, and I can buy the idea of the Fellowship being composed of a multiracial and multinational group working together as an expression of hope that our own world's races and nations could work together. But if you have races like the Vanir in Norse sagas, and Tolkien's own belief in heaven and divine beings, then that means there are going to be people in Middle-earth who, like those divine beings, are simply better than other races, which rather defeats the whole anti-racist message Gimli and Legolas's friendship is trying to send in the first place. Also, all these races and nations are united against the common enemy of Mordor, and we still haven't seen an orc plead their own case. It makes me think, so much of fantasy convention is just an uncritical clone of Tolkien's world, but so much of this world is full of contradictions and Tolkien's own idiosyncrasies. Middle-earth is such a uniquely Tolkien world, this book really made me respect Ursula K. Le Guin on a new level, for her using Tolkien as an ideal to aspire towards while also making Earthsea very much her own personal world. Another thing that surprised me is that the industrialization of the Shire seems to be happening in this book, as opposed to when Saruman fled there, as I'd originally thought. Maybe Saruman got to the Shire even before his defeat in Isengard, or maybe something else is going on, but I'm really intrigued to see where Tolkien goes with this. Oh, and of course, Balin's dead! He's fucking dead! Yeah, that tomb that the Fellowship finds in Moria, it's for the kindly old Michael Higgins dwarf from The Hobbit! And Oin and Ori are dead too! They're all dead! Tolkien's not fucking around here anymore. Like, god damn, this ain't your safe, comfy bedtime story. What does The Ring Goes South have to say? Well, as Bilbo himself puts it, don't adventures ever have an end? I suppose not. Someone else always has to carry on the story. Just as in The Hobbit, where slaying Smaug only generated a new set of problems, taking the ring to Rivendell was only the start of Frodo's adventure. While in The Ring Sets Out, we saw a new shadow lurking over Middle-earth, in The Ring Goes South, we see what that shadow is. The ring must be destroyed so that Sauron's evil does not overtake the world, but Galadriel flat out says that even if Sauron is defeated, the elves will never be able to live as they once did. Change is coming, regardless of the hero's actions. They only have the power to make sure that the change doesn't destroy everything. To bring back Le Guin, I remember a common complaint of hers with regards to fantasy fiction is how so much of it has everything neatly solved with the Dark Lord's defeat. Despite Sauron being the granddaddy of all these Dark Lords, though, I have a feeling that his defeat will only be the start of a new set of problems. Final verdict. This book's woman count comes to 2, with Arwen, Aragorn's one true love, and Galadriel, the Queen of Lothlorien. I was kind of surprised by how little Arwen actually does in this book, mostly just being someone whose beauty the characters can marvel at while Aragorn practices courtly love with her. But I was also surprised by Galadriel's melancholy, since in the films she struck me as a powerful force of nature who had no such mortal pains, although that might just be Cate Blanchett. Not much of the Ring Goes South stood out to me because a lot of it was faithfully adapted for the Peter Jackson films and BBC radio drama, which I'd already seen and heard, but still, there's a definite magic in reading the original article, to the point where I'd give the book a 9 out of 10. It's so uniquely a product of its author, even in its flaws, it fascinates me, and I would thoroughly recommend it. In the meantime, I'm Marco Keane, signing off, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, and you'd like to see me make more, please leave a like or comment down below, share my video via Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or other means, and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you'd like to see another book that had to be split into 3 parts for publication, why not check out my own book, The Song of Moria and Mercy Monsters? It's only $1 on Amazon, and if I sell 200 copies, I get to publish the next installment, which is ready and waiting for the printer, so please check it out. I'm sure you will love it. Thank you all, and I will see you in the next one.